Hi guys, in today's video I'm going to be trying on the entire newly released is the Natasha Denona My Dream collection. I ordered this directly from Natasha Denona and there was free international shipping and it got here in just over a week, so I'm pretty impressed with that. It got here fairly quickly. So in this collection is one of her MIDI eyeshadow palettes that has her favourite shades in it. I think there's one or two, possibly three new shades, but the rest are shades that are her favourites and they've been reformulated and with different finishes. And also in the collection for the first time, Natasha Denona has put out, it's the My Dream Cheek Trio, and this has three different type of finishes. It's got a highlighter, it's also got a cream base for the highlighter and also a cream to powder blush, and this is the first time she's put it out in a trio. There's also the lipstick and a lip gloss and also a lip pencil. The lip pencil isn't new or a new shade, but it is in the new packaging. Now all of these products are made in Italy, and let's just take a moment to look at the packaging. I think this is beautiful. It has a matte or a soft matte type finish with the artistic ink splotches around it. I think it's really beautiful, and it just has My Dream palette underneath there. So I'll just hold it a bit closer so you can take a look. And then as with Natasha's other palettes, on the back there are the little pinholes, so if you want to change palettes around to the colour story you want, you can just push in through those and it lifts out the pan and you can replace it with something else. So this palette has 15 shades. There is the generous sized mirror inside like she normally has. And here are the shades. I think these are beautiful. There are a variety of finishes. So what I'll do is I'll swatch these on my arm so you can take a look. So I'll swatch as many shades as I can on one arm. I don't know whether I'll be able to get the whole palette on one arm, but I will swap to the other arm. So we're going to start off with the first shade. I am going to be swatching from top to bottom and left to right. So we're going to start off with the shade Blackest Black, and this is an existing shade of Natasha Denona, but it is normally in a single. This is the first time she's put it in a midi size palette, and that is a matte black. Next we have Aspiration, and this is a matte dark, she calls it a penny brown. Next is the shade, this is Serenity, and this is a satin medium brown. Then we have, it is Carpe Diem. This is a matte shade, it's a medium dusty peach. Next is the shade Babies, and this is a metallic light medium rosy nude, and I'm pretty sure this shade is from her one of her original palettes, the 28 palette. Next is the shade Instinct, and this is a cream to powder formula, and she describes it as a fuchsia. Next is the shade Thrill, and this is a sparkling metallic golden nude, and it's a duochrome, and it has a pink shift to it. Next is Unity, and this is described as a matte medium light pink nude. Risk, and this is a metallic medium maroon. And the last shade on the second row, this one is called Invention, and it's a sparkling metallic tangerine duochrome with bronze and golden sparks. That is a beautiful shade. So now I'm going to swap to my other arm, and this is the last row. And the first shade is Vision, and this is described as a multi-chrome metallic. It has shifts of green, pink, nude and gold. So that is Vision, and you can see, hopefully you can pick it up on the camera, but it has those really beautiful shifts to it. Next is Edgy, And this is described as a cream powder matte, medium dark eggplant. Next we have Spontaneous, and this is a metallic light pearl nude. This is really beautiful. And then second to last we have Nurture. This is a matte and it's described as a medium cool nude. And the last shade is Familiar, and this is a matte medium, and this is a caramel brown. So I'm just going to show you the shades again. This is the first row and then the second row without my front light on. Probably be able to see them a little bit better. And then I'll swap to my other arm so you can look at the bottom row. So I'm going to do two eye looks. The first one I'm going to do is more bold, and then I'm going to try and do with this palette just an everyday, fairly subtle type of look. I don't know how subtle I can get it. Natasha Denona eyeshadows are very pigmented and they are absolutely beautiful, but I just want to see if I can do just a neutral, natural, everyday look as well. But first of all, I've got to go and wash the swatches off my arm, and then I'll be back and we'll do the first eye look. The swatches took quite a bit of washing off. I actually had to use eye makeup remover to get them off. When I just went to use a water and a cloth, they were definitely going to stain. So I've already got my foundation on and powder. My foundation that I've got on is the new Guerlain one, which I did a video on just a few days ago. So if I remember when I'm editing, I will put the link up here if you want to take a look at that. I've also powdered my face. I've got eyeshadow primer on. I've done my eyebrows, and I've also got bronzer on as well. So for the first eye look, I think I'll stick with this side of the palette. I'm going to start with the shade Unity first, and just going to put this through the crease and slightly above, just using this really as a transition shade. And I'm just going fairly lightly with each shade, because when I was swatching them, they are very pigmented. So this is Rapha number 14 brush, and it is quite fluffy. So it just lays the product on just that little bit more lighter. So I think I'll stick with the Rapha number 14 brush, and I'll now go into the shade. This is the one Instinct. And I'm going to put this through my crease and bring it just slightly above as well. The Natasha Denona shadows do blend really beautifully. It's been a while since I've bought a Natasha Denona palette. I do have a lot of hers, but I skipped the last couple of releases. I think the last one, I may be wrong because there's been a couple that I've missed. One of them was Pastel Shades, and I did skip that one. I didn't think I'd really get much wear out of it, but when I saw this palette, I thought it was absolutely beautiful. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G. This is the mini booster, and I'm going to go into the shade Edgy. This is the one that she describes as a deep eggplant, and I'm going to put this on the outer corner. I'm going to take the Chukahoro. This is the blend brush, and without putting any more powder on or taking the brush into the pan, I'm just going to blend this out and just bring it slightly above the crease on the outer corner as well. I'm going to take the Sonia G. This is the soft definer, and I'm going to go back into this deep eggplant colour, the shade Edgy, and I'm going to run some of this along my lower lash line. And I'm using the soft definer brush because it only picks up a little bit of product, and I just want to take it fairly easy to begin with. Then I'm going to take the Rapha number 3, and I'm going to go into the matte shade. I'm going to go into the Blackest Black, And I'm going to put some of this in the outside corner, just through here. This is the first time I've used this shade of hers. I never ended up buying the single, so it definitely has a lot of pigment. And then I'm just going to wipe down the soft definer, the one that I used to put this colour Edgy down first. So I'm just wiping that off, and I just want to go over this black shade just to soften it out a little bit. I'm going to take the Sonia G, the pencil one, and I'm going to stay with this black shade here and just pick up a little bit. And I just want to put a tiny amount just in the very outer corner. And then I'm just going to go over that shade just with this blending brush. This Chukahado blending brush is really, really soft. And it's just good for softening out shadows. Then I'm going to take the Chukahado, this is the F06, and I want to go into this shade here. This is the one Thrill. And I'm going to put that over the rest of my eyelid. I'm going to push it through here. Then we'll take the Chukahado, this is the F08, and go back into the blackest black shade. Now this does pick up quite a bit of pigment, so I've picked up a little bit, but I'm also just dabbing it on the cloth in front of me. And I want to use this just to define my upper lash line. And I've wiped down the Rapha number 3, and now I'm going to go into the shade, it is Spontaneous. And I'm going to put this in my inner corner. So I've now put some mascara on. I didn't put any additional eyeliner on. That blackest black shade in that palette is absolutely gorgeous, and I wish I had picked up that single eyeshadow a long time ago. It performs really, really beautifully. So this is look number 1, and I'm sort of wishing I had done this look last because I love it. I think it's really beautiful. It's an evening look for me, but just gorgeous, and the shadows blend effortlessly and just beautifully. And the lighter shade through here, the one Spontaneous, is absolutely gorgeous. And I do tend to stay away from shades, normally the eggplant colours and the ones that lean just that little bit more sort of purple. But I think it is just really gorgeous, and I love it with this deep black right in the very corner here. Just really, really beautiful. So now I'm going to wash this off, and then we'll be back and I'll do look number 2. I'm glad this is going to be my final eye look, because before this video I did 2 other videos, and both of those were eyeshadow ones as well, and I did 2 looks in each video. So my poor eyelids have had enough of makeup being wiped off. They're a little bit red. I've covered it with, I put a little bit of foundation back over and some concealer, and also some of my eyeshadow primer, but I can still see some slight redness coming through. They've had enough for the day. So now I'm going to do the second look. I'm going to keep it more of, if I can, sort of a neutral everyday type of makeup look. So I'm going to take the Rapha number 14, and I'm going to go into the shade, this one here, and this is Nurture, and I'm going to start off with this one. But these eyeshadows are blending beautifully, and since I've been washing my eyelids so much today doing these videos, this is when I'm pleased that I have natural hair brushes, because they are a lot softer on the skin than synthetic ones. Then I'm going to go into the shade Aspiration, this one through here, and I'm just going to put that through the crease just to deepen things up. I'm going to take the Sonia G, the soft shader. I'm going to keep with this shade here, the One Aspiration, and I'm going to run that under my lower lash line. Then we're going to take the Sonia G, the Mini Booster, and I'm still going to stay with the shade Aspiration, but I'm going to just concentrate this more on the outer corner. So I'm going to go back into the shade. This is the one that I used in the last eyeshadow look, and this is the one Spontaneous. And I'm going to, again, just put that through here. Then I'm going to take the Sonia G, this is the Pencil one, and I want to go back into this black shade again. And this is quite a small, dense brush. It's quite good just for precision putting on eyeshadow. So again, I just want to put it on the very, very outer corner. And then with the reference number 3 and that black shade, just put a small amount just on the lower lash line, but just on the outer third. And then I really want to use the shade Invention, which is this beautiful tangerine shade, but I'm only going to use a tiny amount. I'm just going to put a very small amount just on my lower lash line, and I'm just going to put it through here. So you may not be able to even see it with the camera, because I'm just going very, very lightly. Now I've just wiped down the reference number 3, and again I just want to go into the shade Spontaneous, because I'm going to put this in my inner corner. I don't want to take it over that tangerine shade then. You probably can't see too much of the tangerine shade. It's really just put, because I went very lightly, so it's just put a light sparkle, but it's just given that hint of that tangerine colour under there, and it's really beautiful. And then finally I'm going to use that black matte shade just to give some definition to my upper lash line. So here is look number 2. I've now put mascara on. Again, I didn't add any more eyeliner, just that matte black eyeshadow that is in that palette, which is absolutely gorgeous. So this is look number 2, and just beautiful. I love the formulas that I use. It just blended beautifully, and I'm in love with that black eyeshadow. It's absolutely gorgeous. It really is a true black and just performs absolutely beautifully. Really gorgeous and wonderful for giving definition, and then I don't need to use an eyeliner. So I think the look is really lovely. It's a little bit more than an everyday look for me, but it is one that I would wear during the day. I think it's really pretty, and I don't think you can see, but I can see just slight sparkles where I lightly put that tangerine colour in under here, and I think it looks really pretty. So now let's take a look at the My Dream Cheek Trio. This is the blush and highlighter palette. So you've got what she calls a cream blush in here, but then in the description it says it goes to a matte. And in the middle is a glow cream base. And last of all is the Dream Glow highlighter. And that is supposed to be a universally flattering neutral champagne highlight. It's in a new gel to powder formula with a glazed shimmering finish. I had a look at Natasha Denona's stories on Instagram where she goes through and swatches everything from her eyeshadow palette, and also applies this as well as the lip liner and the lipstick and the lip gloss, and they are definitely worth a look because she has saved that particular story, and she does explain about the different eyeshadows and how she's changed some of the eyeshadows. Even though they are her favorites from other palettes, she's changed the finishes and the formulas of them, so it's definitely worth a look at that. And then she also showed how to apply this. So the blush she puts on first, and then this is the cream base, which is supposed to go under the Dream Glow. I thought these two just by themselves looked absolutely beautiful. This definitely, from what I saw on Natasha Denona's story, adds a lot of bling, and I will use it today. But I get the feeling that just these two would be enough just for my everyday makeup. So I'm going to apply the blush. I'm going to use a Sonia G, one of her fusion brushes. And this one is the classic base. So just going to go in. And this is a beautiful, beautiful colour. This applies beautifully. So she says that this is the shade Natasha, and this is a dusty neutral pink. Really, really beautiful. So next I'm going to go into the Glow Cream Base, which has absolutely beautiful embossing. And in her story she talked about how this was designed using 3D printing. So I've just wiped down this brush and I'm just going to sweep this in here. And I'm just going to buff it over the highest point on my cheekbone through here. And the shade is what she describes as a universal neutral nude. So I just think that gives just a lovely sheen, and that would probably be enough for me. But I will put the highlighter over the top. And then finally the highlighter. This one is called the Dream Glow, and it is supposed to be Universal Neutral Champagne. From what I've seen, this gives off quite a high shine. So I'm going to take one of my Chukahodo brushes. This is quite a fluffy one. And just see if I can go in fairly gently with this shade. I'll just sweep that over the top. So this brush is really fluffy, and you can see the shine that it gives. So you would even get more by, if you wanted to apply it with your fingers or a brush that was more dense than this one. But there's definitely some shine going on. It is beautiful, there's no doubt about it. All three together look really, really gorgeous. So now I'm going to put on some lip liner. This isn't a new shade. This is the I Need a Nude in the shade Natasha, but it is in this My Dream packaging, and it is really lovely. I do have another lip liner of hers, and I do find them really good. They're really creamy. They don't tug on the lips when you put them on, but I don't think that I have the shade. This is really beautiful, and it's, from what I can see, it's quite a forgiving shade. So even if you're not that exact putting it on, it's going to be fine because it's just a beautiful neutral shade. So first I'm going to put on the lip gloss, and then I'll wipe that off, and then I'll put on the lipstick. So you can see each one what they look like by themselves, and then finally I'll put on the lipstick with the lip gloss over the top. So the formula of the lip gloss is the same that she used in the I Need a Rose collection. I bought 2 of those lip glosses, and they are really, really beautiful. But this is the first in the shade Natasha, and the packaging on this has the ink splotches on it, just like the rest of the packaging. It's really, really lovely. So this is the shade Natasha. So that's a really beautiful nude look, and as I was saying, I do love the formula of these. They're very hydrating, they don't feel sticky or tacky in any way, and they're not overly shiny either. They are a lip gloss, so they're supposed to shine, but they're not excessively shiny, and I think they're very flattering on the lips. Really beautiful. So here is the outside packaging of the lipstick. It's really lovely. Now this is in the shade Natasha. Now Natasha Denona's original lipsticks, the I Need a Nude ones, there was a shade Natasha in there. And the formula of this lipstick is based on the lipsticks from the I Need a Rose collection. So it is the newer formula. And on her Instagram page, she says that the shade of this lipstick leans more towards a mauve pink look more than the Natasha. Now, I had the original I Need a Nude Natasha lipstick, and I thought it just leaned too brown for me, so I ended up giving that away. So it's going to be interesting to see what the shade is like. So I'll just show you what the bullet is like as well. It is the typical bullet of Natasha Denona, and it just has indie engraving on there. Now with Natasha's other lipsticks, they are notoriously soft, so I tend to have them wound down just to about there. I've had two before that have broken off. Hasn't happened with this new formula, so these could be completely different, but I just want to be really careful. So that is a really gorgeous shade, and from memory it's a lot better than the original Natasha I Need a Nude lipstick, just with the shade. It's definitely not too brown, because if it was, I wouldn't like it. I think this is beautiful, and the formula is gorgeous as well. And you almost really don't need a lip gloss over top of this. It has a little bit of shine to it. And I also bought with her I Need a Rose collection 2 of the lipsticks, and they really are beautiful. A beautiful hydrating formula that are just really comfortable on the lips. But I will put the lip gloss on top over this, just so you can see what they're both like. So what an absolutely beautiful collection, and I am so pleased that I picked this up. As I was saying earlier, a couple of her previous palettes, I think it was at least the last 2 that have been released, really didn't speak to me. This one did, and I am so thrilled with it. It is absolutely gorgeous. I am in love with the eyeshadow palette. I think it's beautiful. There are so many different looks you could do with it. I think there are gorgeous evening looks with it. And if you even wanted a more softer daytime look, you could do it with leaving out this metallic shade, or just putting a tiny amount on and using more of the mattes. But I love this eye look. I think it is really gorgeous. I am in love with the blush. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The highlighter is probably a bit too much for me. It looks beautiful altogether, but it's not something I would wear all 3 of them for a daytime look, possibly evening. But I do love the blush, and I love the cream glow underneath the highlighter. Just the blush and the cream glow, those 2 together I think are absolutely stunning. And I love the shade of this lipstick. It is an everyday lipstick for me. I think it's absolutely perfect. And I love this new formula. I've tried it before in the I Need a Rose, and it is really, really gorgeous. So I am thrilled that I picked this collection up. It is absolutely stunning. So that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you next time. Bye.